SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is the Pete's Parlay Show for NFL Week 4, college football Week 5. Lost my parlay last week, so now I'm down about 150 on the year. So I'm starting to take this shit seriously and getting going to be a little bit conservative right now. I'm not going to be chucking some big bombs. I'm going to be, looking for first downs, and if I can get up a couple hundred at some point soon, then I'll start, chucking some big bombs downfield. But for now, focus on the running game, a little bit more conservative, and just try to put some points on the board. All right, let's get right into it. A lot of interesting sides this week. There's a lot of sides that the professional handicappers recommended that do make sense to me, that I think there probably is a small edge in, but most of them I left out of the parlay because the edge isn't big enough. With the parlay, you got to be very, very selective. Then we have a lot of interesting stuff from Brent from BetDSI. Let's get into the college sides. Troy West from allplayswin.com recommends Stanford. He recommended them at -10, and Stanford's awesome this year. I think they are going to be overall a positive ATS team. It's going to be rainy in Washington State. That probably still helps Stanford though, because Washington State's a passing team. Stanford has an awesome ground game. I think Stanford probably does have some value, but I'm not going to put him in the parlay. Then Troy also recommended Iowa over Minnesota. He might be right there, but that one scares me. He also like Georgia at -3. Now it's -3.5, so he's probably on the right side there, but no way I'm going to touch that one. Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. He's had a bit of a rough start in our game preview videos. This week, I think he's got two decent picks. He likes Duke, -11.5 in their homecoming against Troy. I'm not going to include that, though, because, Troy's one of these teams that always just overachieves a bit. Easily a backdoor cover could happen. Then he also liked Missouri, -20.5 over Arkansas State, and Arkansas State is pretty much a team in disarray right now. Missouri's a quality SEC team. The passing game's good. The running game's good, and I am going to wind up putting Missouri in the parlay. Not on the full game, though. I'll get to that when I tell the teams that I'm going to put in there. Then Joe Duffy, he recommended Idaho +8 against Temple. Again, I do think that's the right side. Probably small value there, but, Temple off a loss to Fordham, and they're off of a bye, and Idaho does basically suck. So, I don't quite like it enough to include Idaho in the parlay. And then Duffy also had an interesting UAB is a side that Brent mentioned to me is a sharp side this week. I handicapped the game when the openers came out. I liked it. Then another guy who I talk to regularly also identified that game as a game that he likes. Joe Duffy made a good argument for Vandy -19.5. That's going to be an interesting game. We'll see how it turns out. I still think UAB probably the right side, but I'm going to pass on that one as well. Then getting on to the NFL games that the Pro Cappers recommended. All right, let's see. Troy West from allplayswin.com, he recommended Dallas -2. I think that's the right side. Troy has a great read on the Dallas games this year. Dallas is also 3-0 against the spread. But Brent from BetDSI told me that the public's all over Dallas, and the Sharps took San Diego +2.5. I would go with Dallas in this one, but I'm agreeing with Troy, but I'm not going to put it in the parlay. Let's see. What else is interesting here? A lot of games. I'm passing on New England, Atlanta, no way. Jets, Tennessee, no way. Brandon Shively. This guy, look, I'm not going to come right out and say it, but we all know the guy is not, the most, he's not Charlie frickin' Heston out there on camera. But what he is 3-0 against the spread. This guy I'm really starting to trust. And he made the classic ballsy, seemingly sharp pick this week. Jacksonville +7.5 over Indianapolis. That's what he likes. Seems to me like that is the sharp side, but I'm not sharp enough to actually take it. I still think Jacksonville's ass. Indianapolis is awesome. There's no way I'm taking Jacksonville. But Brandon Shively recommends it, and he is 3-0 so far. Al McMorty made a couple of interesting picks that I think are probably the right side. Oakland as a home dog +3, and Brent also told me that was a sharp side. I think that probably is the right side. Now, don't like it quite enough to put in the parlay. And then Al McMorty also recommends KC -4 over the Giants. Kind of obvious why he would like that. And he had the same kind of success with Chicago over Pittsburgh last week. But again, the Giants, you just never know what you're going to get. And I'm not going to leave that one in either. All right, and then Scott Kellen recommended the over in Chicago, Detroit. Seems good to me. Not going to put it in the parlay, though, and he also recommended Cleveland +4. Then moving on to what Brent from BetDSI told me are the sharp sides. Alabama, he said, was a sharp side at 13.5 and 14. It moved up to 14.5. Now I'm seeing at DSI, it's down to 13.5. So I don't know what the hell's going on with that game. Interesting the sharps are on Alabama, but I'm certainly not going to tell that. Brent also said Central Florida, which is now +6.5, was a sharp side. Again, when the openers came out, that's what I thought myself. The sharps are apparently on it, but don't like it quite enough to put in the parlay. Brent also tells me Sharps are on Texas State plus 12. That's a public sharp split. And in the NFL, the Sharps are on Dallas, San Diego. Jets were sharp at plus 4, and they took the over at 56.5 in the Philly-Denver game. All right, let's get to the plays that I am going to include in my premium parlay for this week. First of all, Monday night, New Orleans, minus 6.5. Now, this was recommended by Jeff Cadillac. A lot of people are not, a lot of people see Jeff Cadillac as an auto fade. Maybe he is. I don't know. I think that New Orleans is going to win this game, and Brent did tell me the Sharps came in on New Orleans at 5.5 and 6. So New Orleans is minus 6.5, minus 110. I'm going to take them on the money line, minus 270, just to be a little bit safe. Because, again, we're not throwing bombs here. We're going for yardage, we're going for first downs, and getting some points on the board. Then, a play recommended by Tony George that I agree with, Arizona, Tampa Bay under. Right now at DSI, it's 40.5. I'm going to take it at 41 minus 120. You can watch the video to find out what our reasoning was for that, but I definitely agree with him. That's going to be my second play, under 41 minus 120. Then I'm going to take Dallas, San Diego over 46 minus 110. Again, this is a play that I handicapped as probably a good bet when the openers came out. Talked to Brent. Brent told me that the Sharps and the public are both on Dallas and San Diego over, and I like that, so it's good to hear. So I'm going to put that in there, over 46 minus 110. And then the fourth play is going to be Missouri in college football, but I'm a little bit scared of a backdoor cover. You never know what's going to happen in the second half, so I'm actually going to take them on the first half. At DSI, it's minus 12, minus 110. So that's my fourth play in the parlays. Now, I could just put the whole 100 on all four of those, and that would be to win $815.66. But I'm going to be a little bit more conservative. I'm going to do a $20 3-4 round robin. If all four of them cover, it pays $508.51. The good side is if one of them loses, then I break even and I don't lose any more. So if three of them hit, I'm even. If all four of them hit, it's 100 to win, $508.51. And that's my premium parlay for this week, NFL Week 4, college football Week 5. I hope we got a winner this week, and I will catch you all again next week.